And we are now live. Hello, everybody.
Hello.
We're back with more Mario. Thousand Year Door. Paper Mario. I almost want to say Mario Party. Should probably do that again at some point. John is yet to have a victory.
And
again,
he never will.
Yeah. Again, this is on the newer computer, so if we've got a setting imbalance, let us know. But yeah, we are back in the WrestleMania place.
Let's see. Wait, should have been.
Bringing down the Elgato a bit. It was overriding you actually hearing you talk. Yeah, it's been a few weeks.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. It's just one of those things where I completely forgot, like...
And it's been a month.
Yeah.
We need to get better on this schedule thing. To be fair, we have been better on this schedule
Yeah,
thing.
we have. But yeah, like the last time, this wrestling facility, it doesn't seem all that peachy at, wait. There's like some secrets going on, and oh!
But she's just trying to find her father.
Well,
Spelled differently,
yeah.
yeah, but please don't make the joke. Since you're a former brony, Des, I was wondering if you've ever watched A Moment with Dr. Wolf. I have not.
Ooh, I accidentally, sorry.
Did something with the screen, so... you swapped it to TV mode. We never go on TV mode. Yeah, I have not. Honestly, I was never that huge brony. I was aware of the fandom. I watched a bit of the show, but I kind of fell out about the same time CR did. After the shitty third season. Like, I was peripherally aware of it, I was not actively engaging, and then the Starlight Glimmer stuff happened.
I must ask you to stay out of places where you have no business being. Huh, what an odd thing to say.
What an odd thing to say.
Well, the only thing we can do now, I believe, is just, fight.
Time to deck someone in the schnoz. Oh, the ye olde days when you could communicate with someone over a link cable.
Good old days, right? Yeah, that's what it was. Last time I lost against the Fuzz because...
The match was fixed.
Yeah, and it was fixed in a way that it was disadvantaged to me.
Yeah. It still means match is fixed.
Yep. What, the wrestling match is fixed? What?
When are the Rockman EXE reviews returning? I missed them. Next year. Like I said in the end of year video, please watch those guys because they actually tell you what's going on. I needed a break, and due to all the overtime work last year, I didn't have the time to work on videos for this year. Hell, even the ones that are releasing the next couple months, I've not actually edited them yet. Usually I'm much better on that, but we keep having stuff interfering with me actually filming, recording, and editing them. Fortunately, I actually recorded the first batch of those 2 days ago, so I'm gonna have them, I have them pre-prepped to work on. And yeah, this coming Wednesday, I will be getting the second batch of ones for next year done. And then, you know, they're easy to edit during a weekday when I only have like 6 hours awake. How the MGX reveals in the RG God look? Amazing. Like, I want! Oh, especially the P Bandai upgrade set for the Real Grade God Gundam.
Alright.
But yeah, we're considering live builds for that. Like, I feel that would be a extended stream, but it would be worth it. I'm also considering build streams for the Real Grade Gao Gaigar, the SMP Final Gao Gaigar, and the Gao Icarus and Kantaro sets when those get released in a couple months.
The Iron Adonis twins are no rage! You made us look like suckers the other day, and now you're gonna pay for it!
Yes, I know you're not a big reader, but have you read the works of Jeremy Robinson? I have not. I actually am a big reader, but I kind of gravitate towards fanfiction because a lot of formal novels these days are just kind of terrible. Or, you know, openly dystopian, and I'm not big on open dystopia. I hate when art reflects reality that deeply. Known as Jeremy Bishop, Jeremiah Knight, and other pen names, author of 62 novels, author of the Nemesis Saga. Oh, I've seen these books at work.
And boom goes the dynamite.
Also wrote Godzilla Rage Against Time alongside Matt Frank, really? I've talked with Matt Frank frequently on Twitter. He's pretty decent in the Toku sphere. Actually, really good art, so... Not possibly not my stuff, but if you enjoy him, you enjoy him.
Here's your fight money. We received 12 coins. We're ranked 7.
Wanted to ask last week, but didn't cause with my voice. Watched Ghosts movie and wanted to ask: is Necrom's user named Auran or Elaine? The I is silent. Here, it's an annoying thing with the name Auran, A-R-A-N, when that's spelled in katakana. For some reason, it's romanized with an I. I don't know why that is. No one seems to know why that is, but it affected both Commodore Ghost and Pokemon with the rival of the Kalos region at the same time. No one knows what it is. No one knows what's about that. So it's...
Oh, that's just rude. He wants the enemy to hit us 5 times.
Yeah. It's obnoxious because with people's names, you're supposed to follow the kanji pronunciation, and if not the kanji phonetic spelling, and if not the kanji phonetic spelling, if their name is written in katakana, you're supposed to match the romanization of the katakana. No one I know who is Western, I know no names of Western origin that spell it A-L-A-I-N, so I don't know what's up with that.
So here's our opponent, the Shell Shockers.
Honestly, Necron Allen was one of the worst characters of Ghost for me, and I don't know why he became a breakout character because he spent more than half the show being terrible.
Alright, so...
I was wondering if it was like a Zoo or Jew thing where it's pronounced and spelled kind of thing. The ZI versus JI thing is because of a romanization, crossing of the streams with Chinese. The Japanese character G being spelled with a Z is a carryover from Mandarin Chinese, where it is by default a Z and then is sometimes a J, because they use Z as a more frequent phonetic spelling with Mandarin than Japanese does. So that's why that crossing error exists. Most of the time with the JI versus ZI thing, it's supposed to be JI, but English happens to make it a Z.
Oh shit.
What do you think of the constant use of...
I died.
What do you think of the constant use of Bash Fix, Betrayal Fix, and Draco in leather pants tropes? I'm not familiar with Draco in leather pants.
I think Draco in leather pants is the making Draco Malfoy from Harry Potter to be like a really awesome person when he's really a scumbag. You know what I mean?
Honestly, it depends on the individual. Like, if they did a bunch of shitty things and never get consequences for it, that's usually when the Bash Fix comes up. Betrayal Fix, again, depends on context. If they're building a story out of a backstab, and if there were signs in the story of, you know, them not being the most loyal or dedicated to their friends or allies, it can be legitimized. Turning evil characters into awesome people, again, it's going to depend on whether they were forced into villainy or whether, you know, the purported good guys are worse. Case in point, my recurring thing about Char is not the villain people make him out to be with Universal Century Gundam, in comparison to how awful and long-standingly evil the Federation government is. Again, it's all about context of use. Like, I have... what's a character that isn't bashed enough? Or recognized to be bad enough? Like, there's so many that I'm actually hesitating to state a actual case, because I know that it's going to say, oh, they've done it too much, and it's like, it's been done too much by taking them out of character as opposed to actually slamming them for something they actually did. I think that's the problem of Bash It Fix, in that they rewrite the character to be terrible as opposed to banking off an interpretation of their canon self that's just not recognized.
Yeah, it's like, yeah,
and I don't want to use a Code Geass example because we've been beating that one over the head as of late.
That's a bit too easy.
It's like someone who does things that are canonically terrible in their show and don't have it recognized. Like my old thing with Ryuki and Shinji Kido. I have never seen a Bash It Fix for Shinji, despite him legitimately in context and in canon being responsible for a lot of terrible things by his terrible decision-making. So, me bashing the character is less, bashing for bashing's sake and more bashing for the sake of, why is this not recognized about the character? Is this your first time playing Thousand Year Door? No, this is the 4th stream of it, and it's Alexis's, well, it's my game, but Alexis is playing it.
Yeah,
because she loves this game.
Yeah, I played this game so many times when I was a kid. So in this battle, we can't use any flower points. Thank goodness I went to the I went to the store.
Becky 2, shame that Char suffers from stupid virus in CCA. He could have won if he didn't give Psycho Frame the Fetties and be obsessed over fighting Amuro. Honestly, I think the giving it to Amuro is a case of either one, please a cry for help of please stop me or show me a better way, or alternatively hoping that Amuro would see how bad the Federation is and once he's talked to, he would be willing to join him, like the optimistic side of Char saying, we may have done some things to each other, but this is bigger than either of us. And of course, then that doesn't happen because the movie is stupid. Speaking of UC Gundam, I just finished rewatching this Super Robot Wars review, and I wanted to ask you why you dislike the Valkalium. Because it's terribly designed for a warship. Like, that, not so much the central spire thing, but it has inferior armaments to a lot of other battleships that precede it, and its aesthetic, it's not designed well. It's a full spaceship, but yet it suddenly has atmospheric capabilities in Unicorn. It's like, and most of all, it's vastly overused in the Super Robot Wars games. Yeah, it's Bright Noah's ship. Bright Noah's a popular character, but that's based like Amuro being in the new Gundam, it's basically become the default.
Give us the Albion back or something.
Not just the Albion, put him in charge of the Nahal Argama. Nahal Argama was a good ship.
Oh yeah, that was a good ship. Oh, that's right, because I'm dizzy. Ooh. I got an ice storm. Phew. And now, level up.
Urchin Ultraman is pretty good and hope they could release in theaters outside of Japan. Or just home video release or streaming on Tsuburaya's YouTube page after it leaves the theaters. And yeah, I heard it's pretty good from Taka as well. Thoughts on Zoids and Big O. I have a video on Big O later this year because it was a Patreon request. Zoids was awesome. Like I mentioned before, that Kenichi Araki wrote a lot of the series, and honestly, I think we should find
I would really want to go through that series with you, because I
want to find the old DVD rips, or even the old DVDs, so we can go through that again, because it's a trip.
Yeah, like, I remember Zoids when I was a kid, and I know I watched it, but unfortunately, like, it just never stuck in my brain outside of the Liger, you know what I mean?
I've said this before in both videos and on streaming, or when we've been streaming, that I adore the Liger Zero.
Yeah. For you, Gonzalez, Joey brought you a piece of cake from a fan, I guess.
What's her stand name?
Stone Free.
Ah, yeah. Yeah, Stone Ocean.
Yeah.
Like,
so, do we eat the cake?
does it turn you into stone? That's why I was asking.
Oh, no, you know what we're gonna do? We don't accept cakes from strangers, okay? So, remember, kids, don't accept food from strangers.
Does the cake explode? Is there a key hidden in it?
So we have to do another fight where we can't use flower points. So once again, thank goodness I have items.
You could do with a new kit of Gil Vader. Oh yeah, that thing.
What thing?
Gil Vader. It's a Zoid from. It's a Gylos Zoid. It didn't actually feature in the. Oh, it didn't. Oh no, it was in Zoid's Genesis. That's why I don't remember much of Zoid's Genesis.
Genesis?
Yeah. Favorite form of Liger Zero. Liger Zero X or Liger Zero Schneider. Panzer is awesome in games, but in the actual anime, it's overclocked to hell. Have you been getting the other figurized standard rider model kits? I hope that answers the question.
I was frozen today.
But yeah, I have Tajador combo on order, and Toe Collectibles just got Ghost in. I'm waiting for them to pick up Drive or do more O's combo forms. I've also built, I've built Kabuto, build the doubles, fours, thighs, the first Kuga, and I also have the Figure Eye Standard Ultras of 7, Tiga, and 0.
Mario! Oh snap. Word on the street was that some mustache doofus was in Glitchville, and looky here.
Oh, also Genom. Because Shindan Korotoshin will never die.
Talk about perfect timing, and now all these folks will get to watch me myrtleize you. Oh, Bowser.
I mean, it is appropriate for him to come as the heel at this point.
He is the heel.
Ironically, without heels. And I mean that both in recovery and his choice in shoes.
My mind just blew a fuse. He's uglier than I expected.
How does he have a defensive 1? He has a giant shell and he has thick hide.
Well, this is just the first incarnation of him. But his attack is 3, so... He's got a poisonous bite, so watch out. Oh, and if he ground pounds you, you won't be able to use one of your commands. Here. Phew. Yum. Phew. Now, here's a big question. How did Yoshi fit this tiny little Yoshi fit, like, a giant turtle in his mouth?
Quantum teleportation?
Ow.
Are you planning this to be an emulator or actual hardware and disc? Hardware disc on my Wii console. Like, I have a pain of a time getting emulators to work, though I need to get the PS2 emulator set up for something I'm doing in the future.
Boom, 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 boom. Dun, 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 dun.
How big can the star power get?
Ah, dang it. One of these days I'll get that.
Yeah. Yeah, emulators I prefer to only use for games where the physical versions I have broken. In the example of the Battle Network reviews, where I had to use an emulator for 3 and, yeah, that. And I also use it for Tales of Grace's F, simply because the US release is terrible and doesn't allow you to use the DLC, so... Or the, DLC the Japanese version had in it, so I had to get a patch. If you like the Power Rangers comics, the darker ones, I mean. I didn't read a lot of the Power Rangers comics. I know the ones by... What's his name? I'm forgetting his name.
Crap, I forgot his name.
Yeah. Yeah, but the first writer who rebooted the series back in... a while ago, yeah, he was good at it, and then they changed writers, and there was a downturn, because the first writer was trying to fill in plot holes and not necessarily retcon crap. Then it kind of started spiraling.
Oh, by the way, that cake that was in here earlier, this dude ate it. Best cake I ever had, man. Sprinkles, frosting, the works. You're an idiot. Dude? But yeah, we're ranked number 5. We're on our way. Raw Daddy. I want you to not attack for the first 3 turns.
No, you hate ZO, but what were your thoughts of Decade and DN showing up in the show? They were used as fodder for the most part. Like, they weren't themselves, they were used to accent the narrative of ZO, which is the big failing of it. They weren't respecting the characters or their intentions, so honestly, I feel like Masahiro Inoue was playing it as he knew what he was getting into, so he wasn't taking it as seriously as he could have been. But yeah, everybody pretty much knew from when they showed up that they were going to screw them over.
Foolish mortals, I will drag you through the gate to the netherworld.
And honestly, all of that just made the Decade versus ZO stuff in that post-series movies just worse, because they were again using them for promotion of another character as opposed to respecting what they were. It goes back to that whole Decade has no story thing, and it's like, instead of, say, using him to mentor Soko so he wouldn't go insane, he's still treated as an antagonist for a lot of it, because it's denying that Soko can be the kind tyrant on his own, even though contradiction terms. It's the best time to use a retcon in your opinion? When you need to clarify the context of something, aka that's context clarifying and not so much retcon. If you have to use a retcon, it has to be to undo something that was disastrously bad in a story or not thought out. It's like, if you absolutely have to acknowledge something that was a terrible idea, you have to retcon it. You should not be retconning characterization, you should not be retconning just stories you don't personally like. You have to do it against things that are actively wrong with a setting and world and goes in contradiction to everything known, with no easy ways to get around it. When they make a Battle Network Legacy Collection, do you want them to use the Operate Shooting Star version of 1 or the Wii U version? Operate Shooting Star's version of 1 was kind of integrated with Operate Shooting Star, so they need to import that entire version of the game. Which I don't think they'll do on their own. What, the telephone booth?
Out on the pavilion from X.
I still think you're Jason Todd.
I'm not Jason Todd. All right. Sure, Jason. Sure. So what I like about this... Oh, there... It's The Rock!
Dwayne Johnson, what are you doing here?
Good time, you pudgy little punk! Uncle Rockhawk's got some advice for you!
Can you smell what Rockhawk is cooking?
Yeah. I imagine he would have, like, the Ultimate Warrior and Macho Man Randy Savage as a voice, like, quit making such a splash if you value your puny life! Yeah, you better keep walking, you punk chicken. Go, my loyal steed. Yoshi's live for one purpose, to carry Mario.
Is that a peanut?
Baby.
Heard you guys enjoyed the Batman. We did! Primarily from how it's just different from the other films. If you guys didn't see my Twitter thread on that, I don't think it's the best Batman film, but it does enough different from all the other Batman films to be its own distinct entity. So, and really, when you consider how much of a hurdle the previous Batman films have had to get over, like, the original Batman Tim Burton film was made at a time when the pop culture knowledge of Batman was just defined by the Adam West TV series and didn't reflect the current state of the comics. So, Burton's stylization and what he did in that film allowed people to see Batman in a light that they hadn't before. The Nolan films were largely trying to be realistic depiction of how someone with the assets Bruce Wayne does would train himself and take advantage of his financial wealth to improve things, both behind and beyond the mask. Robert Pattinson's take is definitely more young, trying to find his way. We're out of the Gotham TV series era, and he's still figuring things out and trying to balance being himself with being what's left of himself. Did you all see the deleted scene involving the Joker? Yeah.
I'm the best masked burglar of all time. I'm silent.
Though I kind of disagree with the statement that it's the only Batman film to have Batman be a detective, but it is centrally a mystery story, so it works better to focus on the investigative elements of Batman than the other films. Like, they did do investigative elements in the Nolan movies, but I can agree that it's not the most focused on, since the Nolan movies did a lot with Batman doing interrogation, which is not exactly this. It's something that's aged poorly in the sense of how badly we've seen interrogation tactics be utilized over the years.
Huh. That's how you make stairs.
Yeah, you unfold them.
Yeah, duh. Don't you know how stairs work?
Mask of the Phantom is also really good. Yes, it is. Thoughts of the Super Heavy Samurai deck type. When Alexis and I were doing the dueling book streams, we experimented a few times with those and thought they were pretty cool. Like, I love Total Defense Shogun of the older era cards, so Super Heavy Shoguns were just a expansion on that. So unfortunately, they didn't get more spotlight than they did.
Alright.
Well, obviously, outside of one of the anime's characters using them a lot as their main archetype.
Oh. What's this? So you didn't find a hair of nobody, hide or hair of anybody in the storage room? That what you're saying? Yes, Mr. Grubba. It appeared to be secure. Don't worry about it, sir. I've taken the necessary precautions.
Except for all those destroyed boxes.
It was most likely just a rat or something. Well, no big deal either way. Ain't nothing in there that we'd miss too much anyway.
Probably sure you've never heard of it, but have you tried to watch seasons of the Battle Spirits franchise? I've never heard of that.
Oh yeah, the Glitz Pit has no longer any official connection to KPP, aka King K.
There are apparently 9 series of this.
I, of course, taken the same steps with all fighters who have gone missing. Fighters sure have been going missing a lot lately. That's the 5th this year.
It's based on a Japanese card game. Attempted to release in 2009. Due to lack of publicity and inaccurate translation from Japanese to English, only 5 sets were released, and it died within a year. Not surprising to me, considering, as I've said before, Bandai is terrible at maintaining the longevity of any card game.
Well, for the time being, tell the other fellows that King K headed on home for a spell.
Have you seen the ASDF voice series of shorts on YouTube?
Oh,
No.
I have.
No, I've not heard of them.
No, I had. They're basically just minute to 2 minute long sketch videos of just the most insane nonsense.
Okay, yeah, that'd be why I don't like sketch comedy.
But you just plumb disappear sometimes.
Speaking of Tim Burton Batman films, have you guys read the Batman '89 comics, which retcon out Batman Forever and Batman and Robin? We're not... Alexa and I are not centrally comic books guys. That's John, and John has been taking a break for a while from all mainstream comics because he's just so angry at DC and Marvel.
What in the hey? Hey, Salem is spooking me. Hey, somebody up there? Squeak, bow, or bletch. Belch. Oh, Nelly! Just a little burping beetle. Beetles burp? A game you had high expectations, but for was disappointed?
Super Robot Wars 30 is definitely our most recent example.
Yeah, definitely. Like, that's an easy example. That's a more recent example, but for me, Final Fantasy 13 2.
Yeah.
Here's why. I was so, like, I played 13, it was my first Final Fantasy. Yes, I know, I'm weird like that. But, like, I was, like, by the end of the game, I'm like, you know what, that was not half bad, you know, but I can see where they can improve upon. I hope they do fix things in the sequel. And in some respects, the sequel fixes things. In other ways, it completely goes off the deep end because, like, who was asking for a sequel game where we played as the sister character that we had to save in the first game? You know what I mean? Like, who's asking for that? Like, let me play as Lightning. She was, like, the competent one.
Lightning is on the fucking title, or cover.
Yeah, so it's like...
It's false advertising, for one thing. And, yeah, no, there shouldn't have been a sequel because 13 wasn't that successful in the first place. The most that... I reviewed it years ago, so this is just me regurgitating what I said in 2013. God, it's been 9 years since I did that one. It fixes the leveling mechanics. It doesn't fix much else.
Yeah, like, and then also, 13.2 has time travel, which thus begs the question, why did you do that?
Why you make it so you can't travel back in time to fix things from the prior content, but you can only travel forward in time, and then back and forth, and then... Do you not understand how difficult it is for Japanese writers?
Emma, Bama, and Flare. Oh, we can't jump? No jumping whatsoever?
YouTube is not experiencing enough video to maintain smooth streaming? What the hell?
What's going on?
I have no idea. Just the stream app sent me some odd, video problem issue, which I don't know what's going on.
Is everybody able to still see this stream okay?
Hopefully. It says it's doing something about buffering, but apparently we had some dropped frames.
You can't jump, right?
Maybe it's just because they didn't see us moving much for a moment. Yeah, sorry if we're having connectivity issues, people. Do you think that time crunch is a good reason not to get into MMORPGs? That depends on if you're there for story or not. Like, if you just want to rush to the most recent content, then the time sink is gonna be just terrible. If you're there for the experience of the world, that's not gonna matter as much to you, unless you don't have much time for gaming, and then the subscriber problem is just gonna eat your money. Or the subscription problem is gonna eat your money.
This is your last warning. Stop snooping around about the Crystal Star.
Mac82 says, Final Fantasy 13 is still my favorite from Trilogy because I don't like time events in 13.2 and time mechanics in Lightning Returns. That's fair. It's like, they just kept getting worse. The most that the original had to do was, one, uncap the goddamn leveling. And two, fix the actual active time battle system. Like, the way they've executed the active time battle system, it pretends that it's not turn-based, but it is still with turn-based limitations. Like, if you want an actual real-time battle system, you have to allow characters to move around on their own, not standing around, and actually have a decent pace by which they can attack, and then you just put a cooldown throttle on specials, as opposed to having to recharge a battle gauge to do any goddamn thing.
Now, here's the question. Do we eat this cake? I'm gonna ignore that cake, because again, you don't accept cakes from strangers.
Question, I'm not sure if you explained this in a review, but why do Japanese writers have such difficulties writing time travel stories? I have no idea. I absolutely do not. I haven't even found where I can track back the poor use of time travel as a story device from them. I just know that almost every Japanese time travel series I've seen, there are exceptions. There are a number of exceptions, but there are not a lot of exceptions. They just completely forget about rules of consistency in between them, and they just constantly use them as an excuse to do whatever the hell they want. When, no, I take my perfect example of a time travel story is an episode of Star Trek The Next Generation, where a time anomaly sends the Enterprise C into the modern era. So things have changed because the Enterprise C intervened in a previous series of events, which completely cascaded into changing the relationships of races and factions in the Star Trek setting. Oh. So they're in a more wartime period for them with different expectations than what we had been seeing previously. It allowed us to see a what-if scenario where you could see legitimate logical changes from what it was before because this one thing in time has changed. Japanese time travel stories, they just use it as an excuse to go AU without any rhyme or reason, which, no, that's not how that works.
Body went numb. Stupid cake. Hate cake. Never eat cake again.
Yeah, cake was poisoned. And yes, I agree, Darkcloak. Steins Gate is a good time travel story because it is internally consistent with itself. Whereas, as I was getting into, a lot of Japanese time travel stories are just an excuse to do whatever. It's, what happened with the most recent of Star Trek Picard is that same writing failure, where it uses time travel to just say, we'll do whatever, and not account for all the little ways that things can change. And, oh, they can't try to account with, we have to catch the butterflies, the butterfly effect. And it's like, you don't know what the butterfly effect is. But yeah, time travel stories are just utilize a device to set up what happens and what changes and what things can be done, but so many lazy writers don't consider the consequences. And even if they say, we're going to account for the consequences, they don't get how the logic works internally. Like, if you change one thing, then you have to actually acknowledge how that's changing. Or they have one thing change, but then don't account for all the things that changes, and then you go back to change it, but then you don't understand how one causes the other. And it's like, you have to, with good time travel stories, they look at both things from a linear perspective and a looped perspective. So, say the first event, look at this, how should I explain this? In a timeline, cause comes before effect, but with time travel, an effect can precede a cause. So, say, first event, someone travels back to the past. This causes the invention of time travel because someone understands that happens, and thus, in the future, the person who traveled back to the past now has the capacity to go back. The first event is not triggered until later in time. Back to the Future, it honestly should be one of the hallmarks by which people consider how time travel should work, because that's definitely an example of effect precedes cause, but not until things are changed. Because the first movie shows Marty McFly traveling back in time, but then this first event, him traveling back in time, becomes self-sustaining, because the changes he makes to time have to always have a cause. So he goes, at the end of the film, when he goes back to his normal period in time, he sees himself from an altered perspective go back in time to keep consistent the changes he himself experienced. Time travel is a slippery slope for writers if they're not careful. Yes. It's like, I honestly could write a video about time travel mechanics, but I'm not sure how well that'd be received, because a lot of different series use time travel in different ways, or even a single series can explore time travel through multiple methods, but the rule of thumb with them is always maintain internal consistency. If something is changed in an alternate timeline, it has to have a reason for that change. Governor Zio's problem, for example, is the first event for everything that happens is always going to be Sogo giving a legendary rider a ride watch, because the first event is always Sogo giving a rider a ride watch. That then leads to the villains creating the alternate rider ride watches, and all of their actions are then facilitated through that first sin of Sogo's. He is literally enabling all the villainous actions to happen himself for his own selfish reasons. That is why he is ultimately the villain of that storyline, because of these viewed from the timeline method and viewed from the person who is time traveling method. Like, it really is not supposed to be that complicated, but the issue is so many writers just don't think about it, thus they overcomplicate it as a consequence. Becky 2, like how Endgame handled time travel by stating that it can't change the past, it creates a new timeline. Hot tub time machine rules aren't exactly the most useful, but at least they were trying to be internally logically consistent until they just said screw it at the end of the film. But yeah, they said they were trying to alter things by interfering, but then not altering things by correcting what they interfered with. So, you know, their things would not diverge huge in excessive ways. The times the decision of the character going back to their timeline, or if they go to a new timeline. It kind of... It depends on which takes priority. Look at it in a different way. It depends on if an overwrite happens. If there's, like, only one primary timeline, there's not going to be a branch. It's just going to overwrite from the changes of time travel. Only keep up with Star Trek through Red Letter Media's videos. If that's the case, I honestly recommend SF Debris' reviews, because he's reviewed basically almost all of Star Trek. What about Dragon Ball? Dragon Ball is definitely a case where Akira Toriyama had a great idea, and then it got complicated due to editorial mandates having his story be changed. Like, the later multiverse theory explanation for how time travel works there was only required because of them introducing Cell as another traveler from the future. Like, that was not originally planned as we know of it, considering, you know, he's the third antagonist faction in that arc, because his editor didn't like the first group of antagonists, and didn't like the second group of antagonists. And then didn't like Cell's first or second forms. But honestly, it still works through that, through the application of multiverse theory and actions having consequences. Because, you know, resolve one thing, then have another consequence pop up. Do you ever do a video on time travel? I just said I was not intending to. Or review something with time travel and have it as a tangent? I could more feasibly do that. I have already done that, though. Going back up a bit to get off the time travel tangent, Pure Crystal says, I don't really know how a model kit version of Gao Gaigar would work. Well, aside from the real grade they're releasing, heh.
Mario, oh, by the way, hey guys, look, we became a B-list star.
So, to answer you, Pure Crystal, sorry it took us a while, this is the Mini-Pla Genesis Gao Gaigar with the Mini-Pla Goldion Hammer equipped to him. Yes, the connector points are cross-compatible. It is just... well, you can see it here. It's like, it is... Bandai's model kit designers are geniuses. That's all I really have to say.
So yeah, we're ranked #1, but our mysterious contact X wants us to go into the lobby and take down some posters. Well, DJ Toku, we just became ranked #1 in the Glitz Pit Arena, so the next fight is the championship bout. Also, look at us. We got posters now.
What's your largest model kit? Did no one watch the Super Robot... Did you not watch the Super Robot Wars videos? It's the Neo Zeong. It is the largest model kit on the market. And it's actually becoming available again on P Bandai on Sunday. Expect to pay like $400 for it because it's that big. Like Time Force, where things change because of the thing being created when they're not supposed to. Yes, because consequences have actions, and people traveling back in time causes things to be different because of the actions they have on the current period. Thus, there are different things that need to be done, so it all spitballs from that. Difference with Time Force and Time Merger by proxy is they're not going back and forth, but affecting one period has more and more cascading effects that cannot be fully accounted for.
Oh, Kier Crystal about the Gao Gaigar thing. Individual parts to build a full mecha, or is it just the full robot? With the Mini-Pla, you actually do build each component of Gao Gaigar separately, and then you can combine them all together.
Yeah, it takes a bit of parts forming, though, so it's still full accuracy, but Mini-Plas and SMPs tend to use cheat parts, though less and less have required that be done over time.
So, we're in this mysterious locked room that was locked up previously. I wonder what we'll find.
I wonder if someone was imprisoned here. Or we just find a really big bomb.
Nope.
I called it.
You gotta be kidding me! Bandy Andy and King K! Ugh.
How many morphers do you have, and which is your favorites? For Sentai transformation devices, I have the Mobirit and the Super Sentai Artisan Mega Brace. You know, the Mega Ranger transformation trinket. That's pretty much it these days.
Yeah, so Andy here was like, don't go into the arena when no one's around. And it's like, huh, what an odd thing to say. And what are you doing here?
Any .xu fanfiction you can recommend? Let's Meet Offline and Player Issues. I think those are the only two I actually followed from GU. It's actually surprising I even remember them because, like, I have not read .hack fanfiction in forever because it was not a huge there was not a huge glut of fanfiction made for it, simply because the story is just, you know, internally consistent enough that there's not a lot of need for storyline rewrites.
Alright, it's time for the title match against Rockhawk! Using at least one special move. So we're fighting against the champ himself. We're gonna need everything we got.
So, after your side about Kabuto and Lupin review, I can help ask what would have been your thoughts on the first half of Hibiki. I've actually talked about this before. I liked the first half of Hibiki. The problem is, it was not just the problem was not just its pace, but how it was cyclical. I was trying to describe it. It was spinning its wheels in that it made it so Asumu wanted to be Hibiki's apprentice, Hibiki wanted him as an apprentice, and yet they were making no progress into actually doing that. So it was clearly supposed to be a slow burn build up to that relationship. It's just they kept delaying actually doing it, and I think that is unintentionally what doomed the show to be what it was after the writer change, because had they established that was what was going on earlier, or what was going to happen earlier, and not make it so the back half of the series had to do it in as bad a way as they did, then they would not have needed the rival character to actually compete with Asumu for the role, and then said character would not have superseded him in his narrative place to be the character everybody hates.
So,
when anime do you find to be overrated? Sword Art Online is the standard go-to these days. I mean, why is it still going? There are so many other isekai-ish VR or game-based anime that completely outdo it, that were basically born from saying, you know what, this is not written very well, I can make a better version of this. And then we have the glut of anime we do now that are based around those concepts.
hold the phone, folks. What in the heck is going on? What happened to the Great Gonzalez?
What was your favorite Deca Ranger episode? Honestly, Deca Master's debut.
Deca Master's debut is just all-around badass. Like, I love it when the mentor character gets to step in and fight to show that, hey, like, I wasn't just talk, you know what I mean?
Underrated, I definitely feel like Gao Gaigar is that for modern context, since people love Gurren Lagann, and Gurren Lagann was basically a love letter to everything that Gao Gaigar was doing.
And, well, not just Gao Gaigar, but, like...
Mecha anime in general, but definitely Gao Gaigar hits... Everything everybody praises Gurren Lagann for is also true of Gao Gaigar. Remember in your Blade review you said Hibiki was going to be very different? What was it going to be like?
we just got flushed down a toilet.
It's a metaphor. Like, it was basically going to be a half-split good, half-split... it's just like, Hibiki was different from everything else that was being done at the time because they're trying to get attention back on it after, you know, Ryuki broke things, but then ended up getting broken more because of a whole host of issues. Oh yeah, Henshin Ninja Arashi was what Hibiki was originally supposed to be, and then it got changed into a commoner show, and then it spitballed into all those other problems. Honestly, I don't know why people are asking me about this 4 years later. Like, it's never going to happen. It's just, like, did me trying to put that all to rest actually revive interest in seeing the stuff I'm no longer going to do? Like, that was supposed to be the end, not Hey, well, ask me all these questions I've answered years ago.
Seriously, guys, stop asking about that stuff.
Pisses me off. I will start blocking people who do it. Cage match.
Yep. Against the Rock! Listen to this music, though.
Yay! Rock Lobster!
Oh, he's the one who said that poison cake. He was trying to sabotage us.
Well, can you smell what the Rock Hawk is cooking?
So you're the coward who's sending nasty emails about the Crystal Star. What? I have no idea what you're babbling about now. What's a Crystal Star? Prepare to be rocked!
Do you think parent watch groups are the reason that bad writing shows and making the characters look and sound like idiots exist? I don't want to say yes to that, but I think it is part of why it's gotten so bad. Because, like, they get so mad about harmless content that it enables more bad writing to be done by default, because that's what they think. Because all that's done to pander to a lower demographic, and if they think it's just pandering to a lower demographic, then it's not going to tip off censors when, or parent watch groups, because, oh, stupid stuff is what kids are supposed to watch from their viewpoints, because they grew up in an era where there was all this moral aggrandizing nonsense. It's like they don't like the variety or things that allow kids to actually be intellectual and think about what's happening around them, to, you know, make them, or allow them to be controlled, in essence, by what their parents say. So anything that is in any way intelligent to these parent watch groups, who are usually very conservative, is a threat to them.
Tiger Brock!
So I would say it is a consequence of parent watch groups, but it's not the only reason. It's just like bad writers are so often just given so many chances to fail.
Oh. And Toby and Fox Girl, I haven't seen her in the work.
Yeah. Things happen a lot. You say you're done with something, then people still try to pull you back in. It gets annoying. It does! Like, I shouldn't have to say in a video every year, I'm not doing this shit anymore. It's like, did you not hear me the first time? Since you like Owl House, have you seen Amphibia since it's ending soon? Alexis and John have been trying to pull me into that. But I've been busy.
Yeah. But honestly, like, Amphibia and Owl House are both, like, really good shows that Disney just does not know what they have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In fact, here's the thing. I don't even think if it was on Cartoon Network, they would be able to, like, understand what they have. Because it's that kind of storytelling where it's not talking down to the audience. There is actually an engaging plot, character development. And when characters are being stupid, it feels for more understandable reasons than, like, just somebody holding an idiot ball, you know?
Yeah, it's a Western series trying to take advantage of foreign storytelling, because such has been just so wiped away. Are there any anime you like to go back to rewatching for no real reason, then you just enjoy it? I like to rewatch.
Big Gundam.
Yeah. DJ Toku likes to rewatch Yu Yu Hakusho. Funny story about Yu Yu Hakusho. I love the first 3 seasons. I have never gotten through the 4th season. I don't know why it is, but every time I go to rewatch the series, for some reason, I always end up stopping before I can get through the Demon World Tournament arc. I don't know why it is. Something happens. I end up not getting through it.
Oh, watch this.
When anime has streaming and Blu-ray releases, and they have different translation for the subs, which you prefer? Usually the Blu-ray is more accurate, because the fact that the translation is different means they've gone over it again to try and correct any things that are wrong with it. For example, the Symphogear subs from Crunchyroll are bad. Unfortunately, the fan subs for the series are no better. So Discotek completely ground up retranslating the series as they did? That's a good thing. Often, it's an improvement in accuracy and improvement in quality over the original streaming releases.
And it's, like, clarifying some more character beats that, like the fans translation or the original Crunchyroll sub may have missed, because it's, you know...
Like, Funimation's simul-dubs, they need to redo a lot more of those than they do, because they basically have been leaving them the same as they did with streaming, even though the simul-streaming ones tend to not be very good, or have things in them that are completely mistranslated and mangled, which none of that is good.
Oh, but yeah, so we're the champ now. We're the best around.
Get that after all that went down, Chapter Black, the Demon World arc seems like a step down. It's not even that it's a step down, it's that I don't actually get to content from the Demon World arc. It's like, I finish Chapter Black, and then something comes up, so I don't see the last arc at all. It happens every time. Hell, after Alexis and John moved in, we tried to go through Yu Yu Hakusho, and that something came up, so we never got through it. It keeps happening. I even bought the Blu-rays.
I have the Blu-rays.
She has Blu-rays too, and we still haven't done it.
But here's the thing. Yu Yu Hakusho, to me, like, if you wanted to tell me, Alexis, besides Dragon Ball Z, what is the other 90s shonen series that everybody should watch at least once? And I would, hands down, always say Yu Yu Hakusho, because I think it was the... Okay, I wouldn't say, like, it was the first, but I feel like Yu Yu Hakusho brought something different to the table that you didn't typically see in other shonen stories. And it's a miracle that Togashi managed to create not only that series, but Hunter x Hunter as well. And I really hope that guy is taking care of himself, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the other thing about that is, like ghosts, apparitions, demons, monsters, a lot of the time those series aren't... I shouldn't say they're not good, but so many of them where they're that kind of right type of ghost-busting genre, they're not handled well. Like, I'm not saying Demon Slayer was handled well, I'm not talking about Demon Slayer, because obviously that's a historical fantasy kind of thing. Same with Inuyasha, but like, urban, modern-day monster hunting, in specific to supposed to be spirits and demons, like, either... in the sense that you're using supernatural powers to fight supernatural powers, they don't really do that a lot. Or worse, they make them farcical parodies, which is exactly what I don't want. Or they make them actually tech ghosts, like Kamen Rider Ghost did, and that exactly is what I did not want.
Well, that's in perfect condition as usual. Yep, as long as I got that baby working for me, this old body ain't never gonna get weak. Well, I was gonna have to watch my tootsies here for a little bit. First, I let that King K idiot walk in on me when I was with that, and now I can't shake the feeling that Jolene and Gonzalez are onto me. Well, I guess I'll burn that bridge when the time comes. I'll just disappear them. Yep, just like I did to them others, like I did to Prince Mush. I bet Alexis threw up tighter in a peanut butter jar at a squirrel convention.
I would say a jar of peanuts, but not peanut butter.
I'll just go ahead and hide that paper related to that in the desk drawer. I'm not even sure why I'm talking about myself.
Yeah, you never know when the walls would have ears. Or eyes.
Good fighters ain't nothing to mess with. Even Rockhawk lost to Gonzalez. New champ might have to disappear pretty soon for my sake.
Compared to my Dragon mode and Fighter mode getting a new transforming toy. Yeah, well, I got the Figure-Eyes standard one, so that's... which transforms via some simple parts forming, so I'm pretty much set. Oh, they're referring to the Shoto model, which, fair enough.
Was she under the ring using a crystal star?
Des ended up reading my Twitter thread on the decline of profits from Sentai. I really enjoyed your analysis. It's like, it's not anything I haven't said before. I basically end up having to repeat the same thing every year when people say, oh, Sentai is dying. It's like, yeah, it's been that way for a while. It's just disguised because people don't understand that they're huge. The seasons that have huge merchandise lines are not selling well per item. Like, if you put 100 items on sale when the last series put 20 items on sale and only makes a little bit more than the previous series, that's not a sign of success. That's a sign of failure. Because obviously there is always going to be the certain people or certain collectors that are going to buy what you put on sale no matter what. But if something is not selling significantly more, it shows that the general audience is not buying them.
No.
It's fewer people buying more because you put more on sale, not more people buying more because it's liked.
So, nobody around? Y'all a couple slack-jawed idiots sniffing around my business. Now you know my big secret. I'm afraid you're gonna have to take a little dirt nap.
Think you can play the Dragon Ball RPG games for the channel? I have to play Dragon Ball Z Kakarot because it's a Cyber Connect game. And I played a bit of that already and did a quick review on it, but I don't think we'll stream it.
I like my machine pretty dang nice. Always been taking fighters and sucking up their power with this thing. It keeps my thought forever young, son.
I'm reminded of the plot of the 3rd season of Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
Man. Oh, just shut your traps now. I use my crits talk however I dang please. Check this out. Muscle up.
Perfect knockout.
Macho Grubber! Macho Man!
Do you think Magic Knight Rayearth is a good isekai magical girl mech anime? Yes, we quite enjoyed it.
Oh, absolutely. I heard the manga deviates from the anime, but really what I like about Rayearth in terms of its storytelling is it starts off as like a typical fantasy adventure.
And then pulls out the rug from under you.
Right, and then like when the twist happens, when the rug is pulled out under you, it's done so because you never stop to ask yourself, huh, this world is kind of weird, isn't it? You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, when you just take something for granted, and then you never really think about it until it's too late.
The Shadow Rider arc, right? No, Shadow Rider arc was Season 1. Society of Light was Season 2. Yubel was Season 3.
Hoo-wee! I'm gonna smash you guys into guacamole and snack on your energy, too!
Sorry if you explained this before I arrived, but where's John at the moment? John does not join us on every stream. He's off in his room doing his own thing.
John went back to his home planet. So yeah, the real big bad of this chapter.
What are thoughts on the Ratchet and Clank series? I have not personally played any of the games. However, I have had friends who have streamed the games, and from everything I've seen of them streaming the games, I would like them. I've just never gotten a chance to really get my hands on any of them. Or go through them.
Oh geez, that guy just gave himself the ability to attack more times in a turn.
Glad that Digimon TCG is giving Digimon that didn't have a defined level to have levels. They did that a while ago, though. There's always a classification level for Digimons to tie into the Rookie Champion Ultimate Mega system. It's just not always straight. The card games, however, have been pretty consistent about, say, matching the Digimon Spirit Hybrid Digimon into the Champion Ultimate Mega tier system. Like, usually the final forms they debuted in that series are Mega levels, the hybrid forms are the ultimate levels, and the normal spirits are usually champion / ultimate tier, depending on what they are. Do you think companies officially releasing their anime on YouTube, like TMS, for example, is a good thing?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, because it increases their visibility.
Heck, if you go to TMS's YouTube page right now, I believe you can watch all of Fin 1028 for free. Like, no strings attached. It's just there.
They also put a lot of full episodes of Lupin up there, but the consequence of that is if you're going to review the content, then since it's freely available on YouTube, then it makes it more likely for content to be taken down, because it's not just in a database to be checked against, it's actually physically there. Your favorite moment from O's? Mine was the final battle of the series. There's a lot of really good moments in O's, both for comedy, because I think it's one of Yasuko Kobayashi's most competent attempts at writing comedy, probably because she had just done Shinkenger more recently, and Shinkenger's comedy was actually pretty decent. Normally I do not like her comedy, but the interplay with characters was great. I loved a bunch of Eiji's morality speeches, specifically his I can only reach out so far, but just because I can only reach this far doesn't mean people cannot reach me. A lot of the transformation scenes, especially the combos, were really good. I love the jokes of the love combo episodes that also debuted Shota, and I love Maki as a villain. It's like, simply because you can see where everything went wrong with him. Also, how can you forget... how can you hate Kogami's declarations of Happy Birthday! Subarashi. Also, yeah, Medio had pointed out a great one when in an early episode from the 20s where Eiji was calling out someone for their definition of justice just being another form of bullying. Any of your archetypes you always wanted to try but never got around to? Probably some of the newer ones, since we kind of stopped doing the dual streams where we use the dual emulators to experiment with stuff.
He's gotten bigger.
Like, I would have wanted to try out the Numeronius stuff, aka the Don 1000 numbers, but from what I saw of Master Duel, they weren't exactly fun to be, even with their battle dominance. Like, a lot of the current meta deck Ace decks I would have liked had I been able to try them out on my own and not had such a poor experience playing against them that, you know, it kind of ruined it. We all love the Cake Boss. Yes. Actually, fun fact for some of my audience, I'm actually, when I'm at work and I don't have anything better to do, I'm trying to script out the storyline for a crossover fanfic. I don't know if I'll actually ever write it. I've just been trying to get its general plot out of my head because I have some, like, key wham moments that I thought of, and I'm just trying to, you know, backwards engineer how would the plot actually work to getting to those without doing an effect precedes cause issue. Granted, most of the wham moments are things that naturally develop from earlier story points, so it's not like that would really happen. So, but still, it's better to, like, build towards an idea of a general direction than have that ending direction define everything else. What do you think of a lot of games' plot being light versus dark, or returning to that after a better plot had been present? The issue of the light versus dark thing is it's an oversimplification of the larger narrative around freedom versus control. It's like freedom to do what you want, freedom to live independently how you please, versus like religious control of the light or the dominance, where you have to obey the whims of the dark. It's basically the same thing, just expressed through different means. Like, religious control is been such an overt theme of so many Japanese anime and games, simply because they keep seeing it. They keep seeing it played out with other cultures around the world, that they're using it as allegory to say, hey, everybody else, please knock this off. Woo.
Alrighty.
Who's your least favorite comedic cliche in anime? Joey Nakao, who has asked the question, has his be the mistaken pervert one due to it being overused. Yeah, I can see that. Like, we like a certain magical index and a certain scientific railgun, but due to main character Tommy Joe's misfortune, they unfortunately do fall into that one a lot, simply because he's around girls a lot.
How could this happen?
I can at least say that it happens less as the series goes on, so it does get dialed back.
Aww.
I think it's the most overused anime to do fanfiction crossovers with. That's actually a good question. I think Naruto's been used too much for everything, but it's not applicable for absolutely everything, but,
Aww.
Dragon Ball's up there. I think it's just any popular anime gets crossover fanfiction a lot, so it's going to differ of whether it stays central to its original, what the crossover material actually happens to be. Terror of Death, we're not there yet. We're working towards that, but we can't actually give you an opinion on that. She's still working through Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah. The pain about talking about the later half of Xenoblade Chronicles is that it's so, like...
Oh yeah, I agree, Jonathan Johnson. They posted Ranma Half is probably the most overdone crossover series. And yeah, I can't deny that. Inuyasha to a lesser extent as well. Honestly, any crossover that doesn't really understand both series when they do the crossover kinda gets that red flag.
Oh yeah.
Alrighty. Woo! Da 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 da. We just learned a new special move, the power lift.
So, he drives a forklift.
Yeah. So yeah, that's chapter 3 done.
How do you feel about stories involving character bashing? We answered that earlier in the stream. Character bashing is appropriate when the character in the story itself was not beholden to the consequences of the actions they bring. Otherwise, it can be overdone if it's just, like, done for no reason.
Meanwhile,
Journey to the West is used a lot in anime media. Yes, for the basis of stories, not necessarily crossing them over.
Zelda? Ellie, what good are you? You still haven't taken care of that Mario character.
I mean, they've not exactly been focused antagonists.
Well,
have they?
yes, sorry, but we only because he's tougher than we thought at first. You do understand that we Exodus must open the door first, do you not?
Yes, they explores the mystery of X.
Well, rest assured that I will definitely nail him next time. We have prepared a weapon that will bring to him a quick and certain end.
It is called a nail gun.
Wait, we're gonna shoot Mario? I trust your words, though I rapidly lose my patience.
I mean, they did say they were going to nail him, so I just assumed.
Let's away my lovelies, Marilyn, Vivian.
Favorite servant class from Fate. DJ Tuku's is big on the Lancer class. Okay, first of all, F to pay respects for their terrible, terrible luck stat.
Oof, that's a good question, because you have to look at the... I honestly think if it's not sabers, then archers.
The archer class is full of archers.
Yes, arch. It's just that it seems like they have a lot of fun with the archer class. You want to?
They have a bunch of interesting characters go to those two, and it's hard to do casters with characters that aren't just are by default casters, but considering they had Edison in there.
Yeah, and the lore reason as to why Edison's there is that he's essentially borrowing power, the collective power of like various U.S. presidents, basically taking their name to buff himself up. You know what
I am Edison. I am Edison.
Basically, he is the ego triumphant.
Yes.
I love Princess Peach.
Yes, Nighttopian Fox Girl. Every problem can be solved if you give a character a gun.
I apologize. I'd like to go where I would like you to go to where Sir Grotus is and ask him something. What do you mean to go ask? I recently obtained specific information that brought an issue to my attention.
You're the main computer, right? Why is there anything you don't know?
I am unable to know things that are not entered in my CPU or otherwise recorded.
Logical.
That is why I want to know what Sir Grotus is thinking about this issue. But they'll catch me and send me back to my room. That is true, but you'll find a soldier's room 1 floor up. Take the elevator. Once there, please obtain a soldier's uniform and change into it, avoiding detection. We're going Metal Gear. You mean I'll be disguised?
Does she just not want to take off her skirt?
I imagine you won't take no for an answer, will you? You imagine correctly. Alright, fine, I guess. Well, so what do you want me to do? I will tell you.
You have any of those Dere archetypes that you're just fed up on? Mine probably Tsundere, cause Zero no Tsukima. Yep, familiar with Zero's anime adaptation was kind of terrible with regards to how it treated Tsundere tropes, though that was because it was the anime adaptation was trying to bank off of it being a Shana clone series after Shakugan no Shana, who kind of broke Tsundere's by and large for a lot of people.
Like, honestly, I can't get enough of Tsundere's, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like, more recent examples have varied it out. Like, the recent series, Shikimori is not just a cutie, I think the name is. Yeah. She's technically a tsundere, but she's not the violent bitch archetype has had taken it over. She's more insecure and reactionary. That's how tsunderes used to be before Ranma 1/2 kind of ruined the archetype over time. Well, Ranma 1/2 and Love Hina, they're the ones who are the beginnings of the violent bitch era for it that just imploded by the era of when Shakugan no Shana happened.
Please change here quickly. The soldier's uniform should be in a locker.
Is the 2006 Fate anime an alright place to start with Fate?
Let me answer that. Yes, it is. The Dean's Day Night anime, as it's also known as, may not be the most perfect adaptation. However, it does, I think, hit the important story beats of the Fate route. And while it does start mixing up, like,
Unlimited Blade Works
stuff and, like, some Heaven's Feel stuff, you have to understand that back in 2006, they probably weren't going to get another anime. Nobody ever suspected that,
they didn't think that Fate would blow up as it has.
Right, so the decisions they make and the stuff they do, I completely understand, and I think it's justified. In fact, also, the English dub is not half bad. Sam Riegel, aka Donatello from TMNT, voices Shiro Emiya, and
he was good at it.
Yeah, he was good. He was good, and like, the Fate route is not exactly the most popular route since Blade Works exists and Heaven's Feel exists, but it's by no means a bad place. In fact, if you want to get into Fate, start there.
Like, yeah, since there are anime adaptations of all 3 routes, and the Fate route is usually recommended how you start the game, it's a good entry point. If not Shauna, it was Love Hina with its nonsense, yeah. What about Date Alive? I've never seen that series, but the fact it's gotten a 4th season says something in and of itself.
Okay, so we're changing into the X-Naut uniform. I don't know about this. It's awfully tight and it kind of smells a bit. Phew. Who knows how, but I got into it. I can barely breathe, though. Yes. Explain to me this! Explain to me how did a grown woman shrink down into this uniform size?
How does Doggy Kruger's snout fit under his mask?
Well, you see, there's a simple explanation for that.
I did open the door. That's on me.
Oh, how do you do, my fellow X-Nauts? Hello, I am fellow X-Naut. Excuse me, Sir Grotus? Yes, what is it? Speak.
Is the 2006 anime the one with people die if they are killed? Yeah, it is.
But,
that line makes sense in context.
Yeah, the full line is people die when they are killed. That is the way things are. It sounds silly. Like, Fate is full of, like, these phrases.
Silly-sounding phrases, but when you realize them in context...
They're actually, like, that makes sense for him to say that because Shiro's in a situation where, like, it is life or death. Like, if people die, then they die. And, you know, the whole concept of servants is, like, you died all those years ago, and yet you're standing here before me. You know what I mean?
Yeah, or the fact that Shiro came back from the dead thanks to Rin's using her power to save him stuff. Or the fact that he has Avalon in him that's healing him much faster than a normal person would. Like, those are abnormal things.
Why in the world are we keeping her here, then? That's none of your business. Don't forget your place, you impudent worm. So, yeah.
Yeah, that is a good point, Dark Cloak. They say, I mean, we're talking about a world where shrooms can change your size.
That is true, yeah. Princess Peach is a pretender.
Yeah.
And, like, the thing is, when people say Fate is complicated to get into, I'm like, start there. Start at the, like...
Yeah, after you watch the Dean State 9 anime, then you can go back to Fate Zero, because then you have knowledge of all the stuff that Fate Zero is trying to be a prequel to. But if you watch the prequel first, then you're going to be spoiled about a lot of details, and the story isn't going to work as well for you.
Yeah, because people say go to Fate Zero first, but I'm like, okay, I understand it's a prequel, so you would think it's the place to start.
But it doesn't work well if you're not grounded in the setting first.
Right, because it's also a story of contrast, because when you get so used to Shiro being, you know, his dorky, misguided self on trying to be a hero of justice, you have to ask yourself, man, what was his dad like? You know what I mean?
It's why Star Wars Machete Order, aka watching 4 and 5 first, then watching the prequels, and then watching 6, works more, because Star Wars A New Hope works as a better grounding and introduction to the Star Wars setting than Star Wars Episode 1 does. Because Episode 1 was at the beginning of them going back to tell the story of why things got so bad in the original trilogy's time period. It doesn't work without that prior existing grounding, which is one of the reasons why people had so many complaints about the prequels. They weren't looking at them from the don't enter the story from this spot point. Hell, even Lucasfilm understood that. That's why they did the special edition re-release of the original movies before they did the prequels.
Omega82, the line is, just because you're correct doesn't mean you're right, where at first I would laugh at that, but then I realized that in context what he's saying is, just because you could be factually correct about an issue, like, you know, or
it doesn't mean you're making the right choices, doesn't mean you are correct about the reasons why you're making them.
Right, you know, like, you could still be doing the correct thing, but it could also be wrong at the same time, you know what I mean?
I brought that line in reference to translation. Just because a line sounds right to you does not mean it is the correct translation or in context what they meant. That's why that line both works and yet doesn't work for people, because they're not really looking at it from the right way. Like, it becomes memes because people think they're, like, silly in their presentation, but then you put them in context and it's like, no, wait, this is completely right.
And, yeah, Mediahood, that's fair. The Dean State 9 anime, I personally think is good, but it's not perfect. but I will defend the Unlimited Blade Works anime, because, well, one, stellar animation, and two, I think it was a relatively faithful adaptation of the visual novel, all things considered. But the biggest tragedy of being a Fate fan is the only way to actually experience the source visual novel is through a fan translation, and like they did a really good job with it. I don't want to discredit them.
Same with the Tsukihime translation for it, fan translation for it.
Right, and the fact is, Type Moon and their companies, or like the people that work with them, have not released their visual novels in any official capacity. For the West, I should say. Like,
yeah, despite everything around them blowing up huge, like that should be a foundational thing. When your media starts to get really popular in a region, you should make the core content of it available. Like, say, Forest Gridman blowing up, and then we eventually got the Gridman Blu-ray, but it's so terrible in its translation, you can't really enjoy it or understand what's going on for the grander story.
Now
I remember the Giguk joke video about Fate where it's like, if you watch this, it spoils this, and you can watch this, but it spoils this, and so on. Yeah, I don't think... I remember that guy not having a great...
I don't want to... Even if it's a joke video, that guy's videos tend to, perpetuate, misunderstandings. And
it's like, it was viewed as a joke video after the fact. It was not originally produced as a joke video.
And here's the thing. When you watch Unlimited Blade Works, it's just because you were viewing something and you might have been spoiled on something, doesn't mean you recognize it as a spoiler right then and there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but what is, for a lot of people asking where should I get entered in this media that I'm now being exposed to? It's like, what's wrong with starting from the start?
Yeah, the only thing you need to understand is, the 2006 anime, Unlimited Blade Works, Heaven's Feel are all adaptations of the three main routes in the original Fate Stay Night visual novel. That is the main timeline, if you will, right? But when it comes to stuff like Fate Apocrypha, Grand Order, all those other spin-offs, they either are part of another timeline or they're all in their own little universe because everything's connected by the Holy Grail. So beyond the first three anime that I mentioned, just go from there. It's sort of like Gundam in that sense. I would suggest, if you wanted to get into that franchise, watch the original Mobile Suit Gundam, see if that's sort of your thing, and then where you go from there, have at it. You wanna?
Yeah. Mecha82 is asking me, anime or live action Gridman? I'm talking about live action Gridman had when Mill Creek released it, they did not actually retranslate the series. They used the machine translation, which was a terrible, awful translation of the show. So the one you have on Blu-ray right now is terrible. But because Gridman was not in any accessible form, it meant that Funimation, when they dubbed the series, then made a lot of mistakes because they didn't know what things were references or not, leading to them naming the Next Generation Junior High School team, which was a reference to both the original Gridman and Superhuman Samurai Cyber Squad, into being an Evangelion reference, which they never corrected. Even though all the references in 4S Gridman that were not Transformers references, because there's this odd Transformers relationship always with Gridman, were always supposed to be internally Subaraya and Ultraman references. So a Evangelion reference is the odd individual out of that lot, even though Evangelion draws some inspirations from Ultraman atop itself. But it was not meant to be referenced in 4S Gridman.
Yeah, and HJ5 is also a mystery as to why Futo Detectives never got officially...
Well, that one's explicable from Toei and a combination of the groups that have released stuff not being able to get licensing for it. That one is explicable. But the fact that it didn't get here before the anime is being done, and, well, since Toei is not doing the anime, that's why Crunchyroll could easily get it.
And yeah, DJ Toku, biggest claim to fame is canon gender bending, and I smirk and laugh at their explanation for why King Arthur is a girl, and it was so freaking long ago nobody actually got it right, and she did a good job hiding it.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? Fair enough. Like at some point you just gotta throw up your hands and just accept what's presented before you, and not really.
Yeah, and then, because, you know, they assume to be the whole child king thing, or the youth from the sword, it's like, that is true, but it's also because gender differences. And also, the whole jailbait Jack the Ripper thing that was probably one of their other first gender bends, was just a case of, they thought it was a man doing it, but because they never caught who Jack the Ripper was, it could really be anybody.
Right, and that Jack the Ripper, the tiny little small child, get this, apparently has the collective dead souls of all the lost of dead children from London inside of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it basically, like, when you hear them speak, it's like...
I am Legion, for we are many.
Basically, yeah. But if you don't like that Jack the Ripper, in the spin-off story of... Not Fate Prototype, it was Fate Strange Fake, there is another Jack the Ripper, but what's cool about that version is... he has different forms based off the people's different interpretations of the guy. So if you throw him into the middle of a city, his power grows exponentially.
Because he can just be a face in the crowd.
Not only a face in the crowd, but one of the theories was maybe he is a demon from hell, and he grows power from that. You know?
And then, of course, Nero being the first saber face.
Oh, bless Rome. It's like, we all know Nero didn't look like that, but I kind of wish he, like Nero from Fate wasn't real. It's like the glory of Rome. So yeah, we're done here at the Glyph Pit. It's time to go back.
Before you see, it's a flying fish. They are!
Oh, by the way, did you notice what type of enemy, like, runs the blimp? Cheap.
Yeah.
But the tickets are expensive.
Yeah. Like the opening to your videos, which one? Name some of the series that are used in it. Which ones? Again, I
know I really like when you could use Twilight Zone by Golden Earring.
Yeah, that was the original RPG Hell opening, but that's why I'm asking which one, because some of them I can name off the top of my head. Others, it's been so long that since I've actually made opening sequences for stuff that I would draw a blank. Nero is Big Boob Artoria because her Lancer class. No, that's Artoria Lancer.
Yeah, so basically
that's Artoria if she didn't have Excalibur too.
But she instead picked up the Holy Lance Rono Mediadol. Like, I mean, that's how she says it, but like it's one of those like fancy old English words or whatever.
Yeah, but Caliburn and Avalon / Excalibur kept her from aging. So she's like young teen, despite living to be in her 20s or 30s in timeline, whereas Lancer Artoria is if she had been allowed to naturally age.
Hello, Luigi. We don't care. Oh, but I must point out something. That's a bomb, right?
It's a cherry.
Bomb.
Yeah.
Everybody loves John. Hello there, Mr. Wizard. Ooh, we got 9 of them, so we're gonna do some upgrading.
Oh, that's a good question. If you could be an Onimusha warrior, what kind of 3 elemental weapons would you like? Weapon type and elements. I like the twin swords of flashing light that Samanosuke had in Onimusha 3. I would like a darkness-themed scythe, which would just eat things, and their special would open hell-devouring voids, kind of like one of the attacks from one of the attacks that Haseo can pull off in GU. That's where my train of thought was going. And I'd kind of like guns, like an actual magic gun. Element for the gun, though, that's a bit different. That's a kind of a good question.
By the way, if you ever want to power up, just speak to the old wizard in the shady part of town. Give him some shine sprites, and he will unlock magical powers for you.
Huh. Maybe an ice gun? Like, so its projectiles freeze enemies on target or slow them down? It'd have to be a retro gun, though, so because of how that would all canonically have to work with the whole Onimusha dynamic, so...
Oh, that's right, we have to go to the 1,000-year door.
To put the star in the door?
Yep.
Intruder would be an adept rogue, basically.
I think it would be a shield maiden. It's not the way. Oh, we can finally smash this now.
You found a revive.
Behold, almighty great door of wonder!
That would be a door of whimsy.
No, the door of... That's Kingdom Hearts.
I didn't think that door was very whimsical. There wasn't very much Imagineering put into it.
No, Davis, you said it wrong. It's imagination!
But it's Imagineering because it's Disney.
Oh, that's right. Soon we'll all be bought up by Disney.
DMS removed your Lupin Episode 0 review from being shown in Egypt all of a sudden. Yeah, it's blocked worldwide. I've been trying to render out new versions that's not going to get flagged for them, but at this point they have blocked over 100 different versions of the same damn video.
So yeah, that's our next location. I didn't realize we actually got a viewer from Egypt. That's pretty cool.
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
You gotta love the worldwide internet sometimes. What? The group that kidnapped Princess Peach is bent on total world conquest? That doesn't bode well for the situation. Well, I know it was a preposterous theory. The book claimed that the treasure was in actuality the Great Cataclysm. The very cataclysm that 1,000 years ago sank that town underground.
So Pompeii.
Those guys want to use the power of that cataclysm to rule the world? Can't say for sure what they will do or why, but we must consider the possibility.
You plan to see either Shin Ultraman or Shin Kamen if they ever get released stateside? I'd probably buy the home releases, yeah. I mean, as much as I critiqued Hideaki Anno's problems with Evangelion, I still think he's a very good director and maker of content. And he loves Godzilla, he loves Ultraman, he loves Kamen Rider, so he's doing everything he can to do right by those properties and not get stuck in his own head, which has often been the problem in his career, and trying to emulate other styles when they don't work for him. Whereas with Shin Godzilla, there was very intelligent, nuanced critique of the Japanese government that formed the backbone of the movie. Shin Ultraman, I've heard, is on that same tangent because Tsuburaya is very, I don't want to say controlling, but they kind of have a heavier hand on how stories about their content are depicted, whereas Toei could honestly at this point care less about how Kamen Rider is depicted, so I know it was clearly given free reign, but from everything we've seen, he's doing right by it so far. Have you seen non-Japanese toku like China's Armor Hero? I have not seen China's series, simply because a lot of them are actually knockoffs. I did see some of Bima Garuda X, though. That's the Korean toku series.
Oh yeah, that's like the side quest, but we're not after the side quest today. We got an email.
Considering CyberConnect are making a trilogy of games, yeah, the Revenge trilogy, Fuga Melodies of Steel already released, and I'm not sure which one they're gonna finish next, since they've not got a hard release date set for the other two. Have you seen My Life as a Teenage Robot before? Yes, I actually really liked that series until Nickelodeon screwed it over. Nickelodeon did that with a lot of their cartoons, that they didn't give them good opportunities to air for varied reasons, or just cut their run short. In favor of SpongeBob, a lot of the time. Padre Bailey came in to say that they really like this game because they get to see more heroic members of the race that would be typically part of Koopa's troops, and yeah, that is a nice appeal to it. It's like, can you think of what would happen if Mario was constantly surrounded by just Yoshis and what's the race for Toad? What's Toad's race?
Just Toads.
Yeah, just Yoshis and Toads.
The pipe rejected you. The pipe rejected me.
Yeah, we had this problem back in January. That's why we had to take out that tree. Too many roots.
Sometimes it feels like I'm just living in the background, man.
Oh, Bima is Indonesian. That's my mistake. I thought it was Korean.
Yeah, it's actually one of Indonesia's, like, very few toku shows.
Yeah.
I heard it was pretty good.
Yeah.
So what do we do when a pipe just outright rejects you?
Well, we pour down derooting chemicals.
I don't think that's gonna work in this case.
We call Roto-Rooter?
Yeah, they're busting ghosts right now.
Oh yeah, Luigi's side gig. Wait, Mario's a plumber. He should know what to do with a clogged pipe.
Who said he was a good plumber?
Fair.
We try to try, but we can't break through.
Oh, DJ Toku. The pipe rejected you because it's currently occupied by Kuroto.
You go with, I want art of this now. Mario tries to go to a pipe, and then Dan Kuroto's just chilling in there like, this is my pipe, get out of here.
What, you can't get through that pipe? Oh, and even Yoshino's like, don't you have any drain cleaner?
I need to get that continue pipe set for my figurized Getem.
Yeah.
Just to make it more hilarious.
I've heard that a fellow from Twilight Town lives here in Rogueport.
Maybe I should recolor my Getem figure to level 0.
Want to know how to get through the pipe to Twilight Town? You just have to have something that has your name written on it. Don't you have anything that has your name written on it? Come on, everyone does.
You need an ID card?
Essentially. Just something on your person that has your name on it. I'll write your partner's name too. What's your name? Yoshino, baby.
Rode on their backs.
Well, hey, watch where you're drawing, buddy. I don't know. Alright, that was easy enough.
Kuroto going all, my pipe, your pipe, my pipe, your pipe.
You're right.
I understood that reference.
Paul Goddard.
Yeah, good old Farscape.
I went down this pipe and this crazy man calling himself God yelled at me to get out.
Was that God or were you just on drugs?
No, it was a crazy man in the pipe.
And with that, as a special treat,
DJ Toku said that Dr. Mario was not either Emu or Kuroto's final form, because it's kind of fitting. It's also a bit on the nose, but at least they did the the Mighty Doctor's Double X shots to at least represent it.
Chapter 4.
The Net Titans.
For pigs, the bell tolls.
What?
It'll make sense. But yeah, this is one of my favorite chapters, simply because, like, look at the atmosphere of this place.
Pigs in space. What? That pig is animated like the cell shading of the Super Mario RPG game Square Enix did.
Hey.
Like, it's polygons in a game where everything is a 2D paper. What's going on here?
It's been a long time since anyone's come from outside. You come from far away. Yeah, those clothes of yours, I'm pretty sure you guys must be adventurers, right? This is a bad time to arrive. Wait, but you're adventurers, maybe it's the perfect time. Wait, what? A bad time? What do you mean by that? Come on, tell me. Oh, jeez, Wiz, I don't know. It's a scary tale to hear, and scary to tell, too. The bell tolls. Oh no, the bell rang again! Oh, this is so awful. Who's gonna be now?
Turn game characters into a pig. Wow, I was never expecting this Kamen Black RX episode to be repeated in a video game.
Oh, badness. Now, poor Freddy got turned into a pig. Not good.
This is not what we expected for a new Five Nights at Freddy's sequel.
Who are you, Gramps? I'm the mayor of this poor town. Some call me Dower. I'm not exactly the sharpest fellow, but I believe you're adventurous, right? So yeah, a mysterious... Welcome to Twilight Town. Well, I'd like to welcome you, but welcoming people is generally a good thing, and it's nothing but bad here. As you may have guessed, our town's been cursed. Cursed? Yes, cursed. That is right. That is the right word, right? Yes, of course it is, you see. Ancient building, the creepy steeple.
Would have been funny if it was a stable.
Yeah, the dark creature who lives there, its curse ordains that when the steeple bell rings, one of the Twilighters living here in the village becomes a pig.
Well, they could just move.
Well,
Where to? They're poor villagers, man.
At least we don't have to worry about Mario and his companions getting turned into pigs. In this version, I assume.
I can't sleep at night, of course.
Can't sleep. Will become pig.
Heh. Kingdom Hearts 2 looks different than I remember.
Yeah. This keeps up well, the village will be one giant pig pen, which would be bad. Leave before you two get pigified! There's a glittery red stone shaped like a star. Oh, are you serious? That's gotta be the crystal star. Gotta be. You people aren't thinking of going to creepy steeple, are you? Unthinkable. Well, we know where we have to go.
Well, we would go to the obtuse organ grinder, but I think they're closed right now.
Yeah. But this is a pretty sad place. I mean, think about it. Like, imagine, like, living in constant fear that one day you too will go hog wild.
It's like that, thing about the button, where you'll get $1 million if you press the button, but someone you like will die or have something misfortune happen to them. It's like, do you press the button? Someone keeps pressing the button.
Yeah.
Remember,
Oh,
Care of
look.
Death is remembering the part in Willow where the witch turned a world army into pigs in graphic detail.
My husband's been turned into a pig. A pig! Like herbs. But no husband came home. Instead, a pig returned. This pig!
All on the bright side, now you got a perfect truffle hunter.
We got into a fight before he left, and I called him a chauvinist pig. Now he really is a pig.
Is that you, or...?
Yeah, that's the game. Like, Mario's actually sleeping. Are you even listening? What? Yeah.
Oh yeah, DJ Togu. Quick, get Batman to sing the blues. Justice League episode. Oh well, at least they have a lifetime supply of bacon.
Dude!
That's not me, that's the chat.
Dad, why?
The
Dude!
sad thing is I don't like bacon. I don't. That's not saying, like, you can't have any.
Well, I can't have any because the smells might get you it.
Okay, that is true.
Yeah, so I can never have bacon in this house.
I mean, there are types of bacon where the smell doesn't affect me, so...
I mean, but I don't know what those are.
I don't know either.
So we gotta talk to the mayor.
The bell tolls once more.
And now you gotta find who turned into a pig.
Oh, no, he's not a pig yet.
Oh no, is it in graphic detail?
Also... It's like where like you go to a place and if you hear a sound or experience something, you get cursed. Like those always felt the most creepy to me.
Hmm.
No! The mayor's a pig!
I mean, depending on what he was pulling in support, some people might have considered him one already.
But not like this. Not like the bell tolled again. And now the gatekeeper's a pig. They're all becoming pigs.
This is a really convoluted real estate scheme.
Yeah, like I don't know if I said this on stream, but if it's not Christmas, my next favorite holiday is Halloween. Not because of like the blood and gore scares, but just the atmosphere. Like the moon is high, like trick or treating, like you know the feeling that spirits are in the air, like and just the overall imagery that comes around that time. Like, I love it. You struck first. Now, normally I would be going around like, cataloging every one of these guys, but I'm more concerned with getting to the story, so we're just gonna start killing. Remember, kids? Let's try out our new move, Mini Egg.
Joey Naka with deep cut. This is a weird case of swine flu.
Oh, that is a deep cut.
Just make sure not to be swindled.
This is why I punt Davis.
I have the rare opportunity to think of something like that, and you're giving me the stare.
Oh no, this is it. This is just me fucking with you. Wow, people always called the mayor a filthy swine, but never like this.
No, this is all Halloween themed. Where do you think Charlotte is?
Oh, Darkstalkers?
No.
Scarlet?
Charlotte. Because they're good pigs, and people need to be told that. Charlotte's Web!
Oh, okay. My brain hasn't... Oh, I accidentally...
Oh, you need to catalog that now. Why? It's a Goomba. Yeah, we got logs in Goomba. Yes, but they're Goombas with hats.
But he's got a new hat.
What do you use star points for?
Oh, you see those, like, that 58 up there?
Yeah.
Every time you hit 100, you level up.
Huh.
So, and you can choose between increasing your health or... So, we have to go back into town because that tree was blocking our way.
Yeah, and unfortunately they don't have an axe.
We don't have an axe. You can't jump over it, even though you're Jumpman Mario. What do?
Hit it with something?
No, you go under it.
Yeah, and you think... Oh, they don't have the ability to do that yet?
No, they don't have the ability to do that. But, Paul. Huh. I wonder what's back here.
Big block.
Hold up, who's in there? I just heard a voice. There's no way that people could be here. Seriously, that's just so unlikely. Oh, what's that you say? You've seen a chest like this before? Get out of here. No, no, no. I'm not like those chests. I promise. Look at my eyes. Tell me I'm lying.
Is it a mimic or just someone sealed in a chest?
I'm not. Seriously, just get me out of here. You'll see. Don't make me beg.
Answer my question.
What? Come on. You know how ridiculous you sound right now. I'm laughing in here. You honestly think I'm going to curse you when I get out? Curse you? Well, I did plan on doing something to you, but it's not so much a curse as a really wonderful new ability that will allow you to go to special places. Doesn't that sound nice?
Yeah, it's gonna send him to the afterlife.
Come on, please, just find the key and open the chest, okay?
Mario needs to know the spin dash.
Wee! Fools!
Wario?
What were you expecting? Did you think a lovely lady would pop out or something? Now I'm going to hit you with the king of curses! The cursiest cursed ever! You will know the pain of having your body roll up! Be cursed! Hold R, then rotate rapid.
We're on a roll.
So all of Mario's paper abilities in this game are technically curses.
Yes.
This is a failure of a bad guy.
Yes. Yes, that's the joke. You must roll around like a silly cardboard tube. Oh, how you'll be laughed at. Now do you understand the depth of your own agony? Yes, I understand. Press B to return to normal. Don't forget, much brain. I leave you to suffer, fools!
Yeah, I don't really think that's a curse.
Whee! But yeah, that's gonna be our primary ability for this level.
They can't curse. This game's rated E for everyone.
Ha! Get a night, good night's sleep. Pretend like the pigs won't eat me.
They're too busy doing the truffle shuffle.
Pigs are doing the truffle shuffle? Dude, they haven't cursed! Oh, cool peach. Ride, my valiant steed. Ride! I like those crows.
Mario, you can't roll. That's the other mascot's gimmick. Actually, that's been several mascots' gimmicks.
Tuck away enemy HP and add it to flirt with a kiss.
Stay back. This is not the Mario you always knew. It's a me, Mario. I was wrong. He is the Mario you always knew.
Uh-oh. We got maple syrup.
But we have no pancakes to put it on.
Well, we'll just have to make some then, won't we?
You're gonna get it one of those days.
I actually did get it in the last chapter, but...
Heh, HJ flies. Oh, so they end up in Canada. Canada, our mortal nemesis to the north. I've actually had Canadian maple syrup. I actually don't really care for it.
Canadians in the audience want to know your location.
Yeah, it's just a different... It's a different type of sweetness that didn't really mess with me. Like, it didn't really appeal to me. I'm not sure if it's just, like, I'm so used to the maple syrup that's sold in America, or just, like, the different tang and hardiness of it just was not right for my palate.
Hammer throw.
Because, yeah, about 22 years ago, my stepdad took us on a trip to Canada for a week in the summer. Someone he went pretty frequently to spend a week to fish. Their music playing was so bad, they did emotional damage!
Don't you love it when you kill an enemy and they explode into coins?
Man, that bell tower is really far away from town.
Well, considering how creepy it is, like, would you want that thing near you?
Eh.
Ow! Mother, son of a gun! Ah, dang it. We had the Shroom of Life!
I know this level feels like it would be used as a Scooby-Doo setting. Kind of, yeah. I mean, we are going to the creepy monastery to find out who's haunting it.
Welcome to the creepy steeple.
Welcome to my creepy chapel.
And there's also a creepy basement. There's a specific part of this chapter that I want to get to, and then we can call it stream.
Sure.
But we just have to get to the top floor of this place, which shouldn't take too long.
Too long.
My friends are all gone. I'm so very lonely.
Ghost flames.
Nope, just a lot of booze.
And the lanterns.
Quiz time, interloper. We just got an ultra shroom. So the moral of the story is that if a ghost asks you a question and you get it right, they give you drugs.
Oh, look at this.
Come on out, guys! That's a lot of ghosts.
That's a lot of booze. Wonder if that involves King Boo, King of the Booze. Well, Mario's haunted. Time to call Luigi.
He's off on his own little adventure. You think you're safe there with... Yes, I did just kill a bat with a hammer.
HA5s. Oh, damn it, Mario released the 13 ghosts from the chest of demons.
And they just got blew away somewhere. Where did they get blown off to? I don't know, but they're over there. Oh, dang it. I was gonna... Yeah, if you let the boost swarm you... Yeah, if the boost swarm you, they'll, like, kick you out of the castle. Come play with us, Mario.
Forever and ever?
Forever and ever and ever.
HA5s, that Scooby 13th Ghost movie was such a disappointment. It was! Like, that writer was trying to remove all actual supernatural stuff from the Scooby franchise, and that's just no.
Oh yeah. So we're gonna do the top floor. Hey, hang on there, Slick.
It's sitting in a chair.
Yes.
Is it someone in a ghost costume?
Nope, that's just him. What's your problem? Why do you need to pick a fight? I'm busy thinking of new pranks and stuff. It's not easy either. Now get lost.
Is he a recruitable party member?
Nope. He's our antagonist for this chapter. Yes, I turned the villagers into pigs. Big deal. You know how they were all depressing and boring and dim-witted all the time? So instead of wallowing in gloom, I figured they might as well wallow in mud. That's sick. That's sick. Pretty sick, right?
Yeah.
Now they're pigs, get it? Isn't that just so perfect? But yeah, we're facing the boss of the chapter this early.
How much longer do you think the show will go for? Alexis already said that we're
After
probably about to get there.
Actually, it's gonna be...
It's gonna be a bit after this boss.
Yeah, but look at this. Question mark, question mark, question mark. That's totally bizarre. That thing isn't listed in here. There's a monster in here that looks like this thing, but it doesn't list the name. HP is 40, attack is 4, and defense is 0. It appears really good at transforming itself into other things. Enter a group here, huh? So you think you're a couple of heavies, huh? You know, changing folks into pigs was impressive, but you're gonna love this. He just copied Mario.
Huh.
He became a shadow of the true self.
Huh. Too bad due to the fog we couldn't really see it.
Beat me?
That was fast.
Yeah.
Unless...
You got a crystal star!
That was it. Shortest chapter in the game.
Really?
Mario defeated the Scourge of Creepy Steeple and found the fourth crystal star. The people of Twilight Town have surely recovered from their awful curse by now. At this rate, Mario's quest to collect all 7 crystal stars will be done in no time.
Yeah... This seems like that's not exactly the case.
That's it? That's all you got? Man, that guy was a wimp. That wasn't even fair.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's a fake.
that son of a gun,
Stole their body.
and not only that, we have nobody in the party.
Yeah.
We are partyless. We are a shadow of our former selves. And now the quest is, now you probably guess that the real mystery at hand.
Damn it, how do we get our body back?
Not only how do we get our body back, but what was that creature's name?
Wario?
Nope, it's not Wario. But all we know is that we have to get the heck out of here. Super Bomb here. There's no way we can fail. No, not likely. Hand me that glorious Super Bomb. Huh? Don't you dare. I never had it. You were holding it just 2 seconds ago. Poor girl. So yeah, I'm gonna save here and then we'll call it a stream since, you know.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's a great place to stop.
Yeah. On a cliffhanger of body jacking.
Yes. Let's slip the hogs of war. It's dogs of war, Archer. They're both far animals, Lana.
Yeah, so thank you everybody for joining us. We'll be back hopefully next week. Hopefully nothing will interrupt us next week from doing more of Legend of Arceus, so we can finally get to collecting rewards for our party.
Yep.